Start digging in your butt, twin.
Hello. Today I felt like talking about one of the most outrageous fights I've seen in Bleach. And I'm putting heavy emphasis on I've seen. I have not seen the entirety of the 1,000-Year Blood War, and I haven't seen any of the previous arcs. Please don't get on my ass about this shit. There are a lot of shows that I need to catch up on. But with that out of the way, let's put our focus on today's video. KENPACHI versus GREMMY. Now you might be wondering, what the hell makes this fight so outrageous? Well, this dude GREMMY has a peculiar ass power, and the power in question is thinking to reality. Any imagination he conjures up is real. He thought a character into existence and then obliterated him right after because he got whooped by a little ass kid, but we're not gonna get into that. You might be wondering how KENPACHI won this. It's because GREMMY is a fucking moron. He was aware that any imagination he conjures up becomes reality. He quite literally turned that little ass kid's bones into cookies just by thinking that shit. And you wanna know what he does with that imagination? He sets a fucking stage to fight KENPACHI. Now sure, you probably thinking KENPACHI went through a little bit of struggle trying to fight this guy. I'm here to tell you, no the fuck he didn't. Let me go ahead and break down the fight for y'all. So he starts yapping about how he's gonna start whooping KENPACHI with nothing but his brains, and KENPACHI wasn't having none of that shit, so he comes in swinging and that shit did nil. Is what you thought. He starts babbling some more until, yep, dropped his stupid ass to his knees and caught him off guard at the same time. And I'm not gonna lie, KENPACHI drops a hard ass line. He starts talking about some. But anyways, GREMMY regenerates and gets up, and they start talking some more until GREMMY pulls out some magma waves and shoots them shits at KENPACHI. And to nobody's surprise, he cuts that shit. And some of that debris lands next to Yachiru, I think that's how you say her name, and he tells her to move away. She can't do that because she's kinda crippled right now. So KENPACHI looks back and goes in for a hit, and is then enveloped in a gigantic water cube. Then GREMMY opens up the pit and Yachiru just starts descending. Kenny goes down to save her and GREMMY just shuts that shit closed. And he starts gassing up how they're going to die a slow and painful death until... Who could have seen that coming? Obviously this dumb fuck didn't. So Kenny goes in for a slash, but that shit gets blocked. That is until he decided to go forward with the swing and crack that shit open. And it was at this point I just knew this dude GREMMY was only thinking with his ass, because I'm pretty sure anybody with an IQ higher than a freezer would probably think of this man as dead and get on with his fucking day. But you know how it is. So he starts tweaking because Kenny said he was the strongest and now he wants to wipe him. So he pulls out a fucking arsenal of weapons and just starts letting those shits blow. Did he think guns were going to fucking work too? And he pulls out more artillery and that shit starts blowing the fuck up out of the area. But that doesn't fucking matter because KENPACHI just slices through that shit and comes out the smoke talking his shit. This dude was not putting his brain capacity to use. That boy Kenny comes in with the hit and slices through that stone dome, hitting this shit in the shoulder. That sword stops budging and that smile fades. And he looks up just to get slammed by this big ass hand. And you guys will not believe what Kenny does next. He cuts through the big ass hand and slices GREMMY again. I swear to God, I hate overpowered people. We're just fucking stupid. That boy Kenny comes in with a dragon rush and slices his shit again. Then he steps back and GREMMY starts breathing heavy as shit. And Kenny gasses him up, telling him to literally think of not fucking losing. And do you want to know what this dumb fuck does? He turns himself immortal. Now you're probably thinking immortality equals no loss. Remember when Vegeta was beating the dog shit out of Zamasu? Prime example. Kenny starts smiling ear to ear and GREMMY duplicates himself, and that shit slightly caught Kenny off guard. But that shit ain't matter to him. He comes in and pummels his stupid ass to the ground. And then they caught the bright idea of sending a whole meteor down. And everybody else is out here thinking they're all gonna perish. And it's looking pretty bad. No the fuck it isn't. That boy Kenny was smiling ear to fucking ear. And he jumps headfirst into that shit, launching himself at the bottom of that meteor. And you will just not believe what the fuck he does. You just won't fucking believe it. He slices through that shit like butter. And he blew up that meteor, causing a bunch of fireworks to start spewing like a celebration. And that boy GREMMY looks up to see Kenny holding a big axe version of Nozarashi. His sword got a fucking upgrade mid-battle. Keep in mind, he ain't used his Bankai not once. And if he did, holy shit. So now you're probably thinking, what's the next best idea? He makes more clones of himself and sends his ass to space. And that shit got him boiling up a little. And it would have worked if it wasn't Kenny. I'm not even trying to glaze. Deadass, after 3 seconds, he slices his shit by breaking open a rift, comes out of that rift looking menacing as fuck, and then finishes the cut, slicing his shit in half. And you wanna know what his next best idea was after that? Sick as shit and then self-destruct. After that big ass explosion goes off and he looks up to see if Kenny is injured, that boy Kenny erupts from the smoke puffing that shit like Newports. And you can't tell me otherwise, look at his face, he is fucking blowed. GREMMY starts tweaking and charges in at Kenny while imagining himself on steroids. And as he gets closer, his body just fucking quits. He just starts dismantling like some Lego blocks. And then we get a post-game interview where GREMMY's just glazing the shit out of KENPACHI and then he perishes. This fight was nothing but an instigation session, and KENPACHI was top tier at it. He deadass made this dude think he couldn't win, and then made himself fucking perish. Don't ever give crazy ass powers to stupid people. But yeah, that's it. See ya.